Sam, you have an attention to detail that is unmatched by many. You able to see the whole chain of connection between the tip of my toes all the way to where my head position, and these minute patterns of correction, which when then followed, really engaging the body or taking pressure off something to allow access to open a something else at a distal area. You're creating optimal mechanics for targeted areas that you see as a problem in someone's body. How I'm moving my hip is affecting my shoulder or my elbow, where someone else is just like, well, work on your strengthen your elbow some more. This is where people get injuries and injuries and injuries, doing something basic like a push-up or a pull-up. Like how I got in my injury, my last gym injury was a neck injury doing a pull-up. I'm the kind of guy who's been around sports and physicality, physical work and physical play. And I've had a lot of injuries over the years. And I every time I have an injury, I go about the recovery and building my body back up, and then I find myself getting reinvested in doing something a little bit more strenuous, whether it's in the gym or out on the field somewhere. And I keep building my strength and stability up like I'm training, but then I get re-injured again, and just by exerting myself in stronger and stronger ways. And I thought I was doing a lot of, and I have, and I am doing a lot of things to help my body be better. But working with Sam, it showed me ways in which my body wasn't able to move that's supposed to move, that I couldn't sense in myself. Everything that you were helping me find corrections in, I could see patterns of my old injuries from just, when I got knocked around outside of sports. And then when my patterns revealed themselves from football injuries and repetition and in rugby injuries and certain patterns I was always involved with. And I could see my body having to like fight, almost reverse the process. And while I do that with myself structurally through chiropractic and other forms of structure work, there's something special about this myofascial approach that Sam is using that I wasn't able to, I didn't know about it, or I wasn't able to access it the way that just it seemed like the missing piece I've been looking for. The biggest test I experienced that was when I would give my 8-year-old daughter a shoulder ride. And in the past, after just a few seconds, say 10 seconds, I would get numbness in both my, one arm or both. And after, I don't know, probably about our 6th or 7th session, unbeknownst to ourselves, now it's the summertime, I'm out with my daughter. She's on my shoulders, and she was on my shoulders for like 10 or 15 minutes. And I had stability, I had strength, I had no issue with numbness or tingling in my hands. And what I recognized based on my injuries is I wasn't strengthening and stabilizing certain muscles that were fundamentally there to keep my structure from falling over. When she's having a good time, that means I'm having a good time. And that translated so deeply that she noticed just that she's able to ride my shoulders and I didn't say anything by getting off. That to me was such a quality of life thing. Like, I'll never stop doing this. Now I'm thinking about it. I haven't had any sleep. I haven't had any nighttime. You wake up at night from sleeping and your hands paralyzed. I haven't had any of that. There was a time I was doing the movements, and then I found something, a pattern of how I was moving. So then I did it when I was standing, and like something unlocked in the middle of my back. My digestion has been extremely better. It was a complement of protocols that I didn't know I needed. For people who don't know, the fascial system there's a line of muscles that make up one line. There's groups of muscles, it could be like 15, 20 muscles in one chain of activity, like a baseball pitcher from the foot to the hand. And when you engage your whole body, it translates into walking better, sleeping better, physically sleeping better. My body's able to maintain its structure, integrity. It's for those that know it's their responsibility to take care of their body so that they have a quality of life, so they can, the health is the greatest wealth. It was an investment. For those that are the seekers and doers of life on these holistic health techniques, this piece, this fascial neuro reintegration method, combined with the understanding of the biomechanics of the framework in which the fascia works with the hard structures, the bones. That's called ABC, the bony mechanics that are taught in ABC, and the movement that is taught with center point. This third piece is the perfect blend of a self-healing technique.